Hey guys, this is Munyon bringing you another audio commentary from Gosu Gamers. Today we have a matchup between MBC Hero and Hwaseung Oz in the Pro League 0809. First up from MBC we have Hyun, and from Oz we have Jaedong. You might have heard of Jaedong. He's this guy. He's like good at StarCraft and stuff. Yeah. So you might know who he is. He's actually I think he's good at ZVZ. I don't know. I haven't heard much. I think his win ratio is like 80%. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if he's any good. I don't know. We'll see. These two are gonna meet up over here on God's Garden. So all jokes aside, Jaedong is of course on a roll. His last 10 ZVZs, he's lost one. So Hyun really has some big shoes to fill, taking on the Legend Killer, but Hyun is not too terrible himself. He's got a 50% win ratio against Zerg, which is not too shabby, especially when you're playing at this caliber. So we'll see what's going to happen. God's Garden, huge map. Both players spawn on the south side, so they're not going to be incredibly far away from each other, like cross-position locations. So early aggression is more doable rather than being cross positions when Zerglings take so long to get across the map that it's just too difficult to try and put early pressure on. So this is probably going to come down to some, I guess, a late game for Zerg Muta Micro, but late game is like after minute 7. So unless of course you're yellow and luxury, then you play a 30-minute ZVZ and just shock everybody. So over here at the bottom right is Jaedong. Forgot to mention that. Yeah, over here at the bottom right is Jaedong. He's found in the right corner, and on the left is going to be Hyun for Hero. And they both have colors, but I forgot what colors they were, because now we're in first-person view, and in first-person view everybody's green or red, which is not actually accurate. And they're both Hyun actually scouted in the wrong direction, sent his overlord north, whereas Jaedong got the good scout in ahead of time, and his overlord's gonna find Hyun immediately. But now Hyun's gonna know where Jaedong is, seeing the positioning of that overlord. So Jaedong's over here. He's the white Zerg, and the red Zerg is Hyun. Sure. Jaedong went for the early expansion in his back door, and as did Hyun. Both players going for very similar builds, getting the early hatchery, which is always valuable on this map because you can block your ramp relatively easy with a couple of Zerglings, and then just get that expansion up and go from there. So Jaedong is inside of Hyun's base. He's going to see that Hyun did the exact same thing that he did. And Hyun is saving up larva, going to spawn some Zerglings immediately, whereas Jaedong is going for a quick lair with no Zerglings, unless that egg's got to be some Zerglings, because Hyun's getting 6 Zerglings. Jaedong's going to see this, and he's using the larva from his expansion to spawn Zerglings as well. So Hyun could possibly get in here and cause some pressure, unless Jaedong gets Zerglings out really quickly. So he's got 2 out right now. I'm not sure that's going to be enough. He can block the ramp temporarily, but he's going to have to hope these Zerglings pop earlier rather than later. Otherwise he's in big trouble. And 2 more Zerglings out. So he's going to make a little Zergling concave, and he's going to be just fine. Here comes Hyun, and he's going to see that Jaedong has the ramp blocked. Hyun now getting his lair up as well. Their hatcheries are pulsing, like beating hearts. It's always good to see. Both lairs spawn almost exactly at the same time. Spawn, evolve, whatevsies, and both players are getting their gas at the same time. Well, this is cute. This is what you see when you get to this level of StarCraft. The timing of everything is so fine that you'll see exact timings just like that, where both players get their lairs at the exact same time, both players get their hatcheries at the exact same time. And Jaedong got speed up. He's coming here and try to get inside of Hyun's base. Hyun gets got a little bit out of position. Some of his Zerglings were lingering outside of the ramp. So Jaedong definitely has the clear Zergling advantage. He's going to come down here, snap the 2 Zerglings that were hanging outside the base, and he's reinforcing his Zerglings, coming here, snapping all of Hyun's Zerglings, and speed is done for Hyun just a little bit after, but now he's taking a ton of hits on his Zerglings, and these Zerglings are coming here and do a ton of damage on these drones. But Hyun does a good job of reinforcing, and now Jaedong is just going to try to get some drone kills, but Jaedong is reinforcing. Both players are reinforcing very well, backing up as quickly as possible. But Jaedong's going to opt just come out to the base and try to catch Hyun's Zerglings when they're coming down. Jaedong continuing to lay down pressure, and Jaedong's going to retreat back to his base. So good job by Hyun dealing with that situation. That could have been way worse for Hyun. Once Jaedong gets like 10 Zerglings inside your base, it looks pretty bad. And the rest of Jaedong's Zerglings, almost the rest of Jaedong's Zerglings are cleaned up. Meanwhile, Hyun's coming in here, and right as Mutas pop, Hyun got inside the base, almost getting a drone kill, but the Mutas pop right on time. Both players opting to get the Mutas out first rather than Scourge. Drones now mining only gas at the expansion. So now it comes down to the Muta micro. Fun. Overlord scouts that Hyun's trying to come into Jaedong's base. Jaedong's going to come in here and intercept the Zerglings and make them explode. And looks like Jaedong's going to do the... Oh, Jaedong was doing the extractor trick, but he did it with a creep colony rather than an extractor, spawning a creep colony and then using that to get one more Muta out, and then making the creep colony, so that he's actually over his food limit right now. It's that kind of thing that's gonna make a big difference whenever it comes down to these Muta battles. Also, Jaedong snapped one of Hyun's overlords, which is gonna hurt him in the long run. And Zerglings again trying to come in here to Jaedong's base, but Jaedong is prepared again. Hyun doing a good job of trying to. He's gonna get a. Oh, wait, that was one of Jaedong's Zerglings. I thought that all the Zerglings were attacking. Oh, and Hyun coming in here while Jaedong's out of position, but Jaedong's Scourge is gonna come in here and got one Mutalisk. Meanwhile, Hyun did get the chance to snipe a couple drones before Jaedong got to his base, and Jaedong getting hit by a couple Scourge and almost getting hit by another batch of Scourge. Jaedong very focused with his Jaedong evil eyes. He's gonna come here, attack this Overlord, try to force, and getting hit by a Scourge again, but he has a crap load of Scourge, a fleet, a gaggle, and he clearly has the Muta advantage, it would seem, but he keeps running into these Scourge, and he's slowly looting his Muta. Hyun trying to micro against the Scourge, getting hit by a ton of Scourge. Jaedong getting hit by a ton of Scourge. Both players losing a lot of Mutas to Scourge, but Hyun's gonna come in here and get sandwiched between the Mutas and the Scourge. Plus, Jaedong's got one Zergling in here, taking out a crapload of Hyun's drones. All of Hyun's drones going down to one Zergling. That is 9 kills in the Zerglings, and GG from Hyun. And another win tacked up for Jaedong. So that's 1 to Oz. We're going to move on here to set number 2 between Oz and Hero. GG.